one facet of that $120 million trillion
trillion. It's a big number.
It's a T with a T, and that's crypto. And you often will point out it's a small sliver of that total multi-trillion-dollar package. But you came into this job, you gave a big speech in which you analogized the crypto world to the Wild West. I guess that makes you the sheriff. So as you get ready to hang up your spurs, is it less of a Wild West? I'm really belaboring the metaphor, but is it less of a Wild West than it was as you leave this office?
My daughters, if they ever watch this interview, will ask, "Where are your spurs, Dad?" I think that we've done some good things. Look, I came in, my predecessor, Jay Clayton, who was in this office, had also tried to address this new emerging part of finance. And as you say, it's less than 1% of our overall financial markets. But it was then when Jay was trying to address it, and he brought 80 enforcement actions in this area. We've brought in about 100 in our 4 years. It was consistent. It's maybe about 5% of what we do in our law enforcement. That means there's 95%, in a sense, unfortunately, about other things, scammers and fraudsters and so forth. But in this field, it's rife with bad actors. And let me just split the field into two just for a minute. The public knows a lot about Bitcoin, which is, depending upon its market value on any given day, is 2/3 to 80% of the market value of crypto. And then there's everything else, or some people say Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything else. These 10 or 15,000 projects, they're raising money from the public, and the public's investing, or the public's investing hoping for a better future. I've been around finance for over 4 decades, and everything in the markets trade on a mixture of fundamentals and sentiment at any given time. But I've never seen a field that's so much wrapped up in sentiment and not so much about fundamentals. And these 10,000 to 15,000 projects, many of them will not survive. They're like venture capital investments. They're not going to survive. But there are also a fair number of small pump and dump schemes and other things in this. And of course, we've lived through a few years where, they became notorious, but they're in jail. The Sam Bankman-Frieds and the CZs and the Do Kwons, where tens of billions of dollars were lost by investors.
Can I ask you about